There is a specific, suffocating weight to the thought, I don't want to live. When it hits, it can feel like your entire world is suddenly consumed by a thick, dark fog. You can't see a way out. And the isolation is immediate. Families, and even the people experiencing this thought themselves, often misinterpret what that signal actually means. It triggers an alarm bell, assuming the absolute worst. That brings up a critical question. Does having this thought mean you are actively suicidal? Or is your brain simply trying to communicate that your current situation has become entirely unlivable? When we panic without dissecting the thought, fear takes over. That fear traps people in silence, preventing them from asking for the specific type of support required to actually relieve the pressure. This chart plots the desire for emotional relief against active intent and planning. We often lump all severe distress into this single massive dot in the center labeled "I want to die." But there is a distinct difference between wanting your existence to end and desperately wanting your emotional pain to change. Both are dangerous, and both require attention, because these feelings shift rapidly. When we break that thought down, we see it isn't a single, solid state. It splinters into a collection of very different emotional distress signals scattered across the board. Clinicians call this the spectrum of ideation. It ranges from profound emotional exhaustion on the low-intent side all the way up to active planning on the high-intent side. Pinpointing exactly where you fall on this map is vital. The interventions for exhaustion are completely different in cost, effort, and intensity than the protocols required for an active crisis. We are going to map this spectrum objectively. By understanding the mechanics of what your brain is experiencing, you can deploy the exact tools needed to get the pain to stop. Defining your position removes the panic and replaces it with actionable clarity. This comparison matrix outlines internal states and their required interventions. We start with situational exhaustion. The inputs are heavy: carrying chronic stress, navigating untreated depression, or severe burnout. Eventually, viability drops sharply, producing a specific thought: I can't keep living like this. Realizing that you want the pain to stop reduces shame, but the trade-off is steep. It requires restructuring your daily life. If untreated, the distress escalates to the next phase on the matrix: passive ideation. This features thoughts of dying without a plan, frequently sounding like, I wish I could just go to sleep and not wake up. The required input is proactive communication. You must speak openly about these thoughts with a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. Speaking up diffuses the intense isolation. It gives you space to build a practical safety plan before hitting a full-blown crisis. This requires immense vulnerability. You risk being momentarily misunderstood, but that vulnerability buys the critical outside perspective you lose when trapped alone. Recognizing and acting on these states shifts the massive cognitive burden of survival off your shoulders, sharing it with a support system. The matrix shows a final, severe escalation point: active crisis. Cognitive markers escalate to concrete actions: making specific plans, securing lethal means, or vocalizing that others are better off without you. The required response is immediate professional emergency intervention to preserve your life. The trade-off here is difficult. It means temporarily surrendering a degree of your personal autonomy to doctors, counselors, or emergency services. But the return on that severe trade-off is survival. It keeps you safe through a temporary cognitive distortion until the acute pain finally recedes. In these acute moments, the friction of asking for help spikes. There is often a massive, trembling hesitation to reach out to a crisis line. Yet the physical input required to use a national crisis network is tiny. It costs absolutely nothing, taking only seconds of physical effort to text or dial the numbers. The immediate outcome is a direct connection to a trained, objective crisis specialist who will listen to you without judgment. Their entire role is to help you navigate away from a hot, panicked moment and guide you back into a cool, calm state. It is highly intimidating to initiate that first connection with a complete stranger when you are at your lowest point. But the reality of that connection is a 100% confidential, around-the-clock safety net. It demands nothing from you other than your honesty. The perceived cost of reaching out feels impossibly high because of the vulnerability required, but the factual return on investment of professional intervention overwhelmingly favors your survival and de-escalation. Your brain wanting an escape from exhaustion is a powerful signal. It means your current situation is unsustainable. It does not mean your existence is without value. If you are at the situational exhaustion stage, the next steps are clear. Begin exploring structural lifestyle changes and seek out therapy to reduce your daily friction. If you are further down the spectrum into passive or active ideation, or if you simply need someone to talk to right now, the intervention is immediate outreach. This split-screen checklist shows the exact steps. If you are in the United States, call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you are in Canada, you can also call or text 988 to reach support that is available nationwide 24/7. And if you or someone else is in immediate physical danger, call 911. No matter where you fall on the spectrum, you do not have to carry this burden alone. The investment of reaching out and asking for professional help yields the highest possible return you could ever make, protecting your future.